Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today I am ranking all of the palettes that I tried in the second half of 2021. So if you love makeup, especially eyeshadow palettes, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, if you have not already, please click that subscribe button. I upload videos 2 times a week on Wednesdays and Sundays and it is completely free to subscribe. Alright, couple disclaimers on this video before we get going. So number one, this is just the palettes I tried the second half of the year. Yes, I could have done a full year ranking, but that just seemed like a lot and very long. If you guys really want one, let me know in the comments below of me ranking all the palettes I tried the entire year. But I do already have a video of me ranking all of the palettes I tried the first half of 2021, and I'll leave a link to that video in the cards. Or if you just want to see a top 10, but you could kind of take my top 5 from each list, I think, and that would compile my top 10, but you guys let me know what you want to see. Second off, this is not all the palettes I bought in 2021. These are just ranking the ones that I've actually tried. So I do have a ton of stuff that I bought that I have not tried yet. I'll link my Black Friday haul video in the cards as well. Most of that stuff I have not had a chance to try yet, so let me know if there's any of that stuff you want to see. I'm trying to think of a way to do like a series in this upcoming or current 2022 year using my pile of shame, I called it in my last ranking video, palettes I've bought but have not touched or used yet. So let me know if you'd be interested in a series of like older palettes that have come out that are new to me, first impressions or palette bingos, things like that. Or I have a lot of, I don't think I've ever told you guys this, but I don't have pierced ears. So I have a lot of like antique vintage earrings that my grandma has passed on to me that are either clipped-ons or like the screwbacks that are gorgeous. And I think it'd be kind of fun to do a series of looks using my palettes I haven't used yet to get some use out of them, but inspired by those earrings. So if either of those ideas sound interesting to you, or if you have other ideas, let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's get on to the ranking. There are 14 palettes that I tried in the second half of 2021, and we're gonna start at the bottom of that list. Now I don't want to be too harsh, but number 14 is this one. This is from Sigma. This is the Enchanted Palette. So to be fair, I have only used this once. So this is what I'm wearing today, right now. And it doesn't look bad, but it just looks different in pan, I would say, than it went on the eyes. So here's the palette. It looks so shimmery and glitzy, and I especially was very interested in this shade right here. It looks kind of like green iridescent with kind of a brown base, and I've tried putting it on with a brush. The brush that comes with it is really nice. It's the first time I've ever tried a Sigma brush. This end was a little like, I don't know, flimsy, not as stiff as I'm used to, but it wasn't terrible. I think I just need to get used to it. And then there's flat, more of like a packing side. So I don't want to say these shadows are bad, because when I used some of the darker mattes, they were very pigmented and they packed a punch. I used one of those darker green mattes for my liner today, but the lighter shimmers were just like, I don't see the iridescence at all. Now I will say, like, I tried with this one first and it was just lackluster. So then I moved over to one of the kind of glitzier looking ones, and they're not glitters, and it was better. So I need to play with this palette more. And I just think it was designed for someone that wants a very light ethereal look, and I like ethereal, but I wanted like a super sparkly, impactful ethereal. So like I said, it's not bad. I think it just wasn't what I was expecting. I need to play with it more, but so far that's been my biggest kind of like disappointment, or like not what I thought it exactly was going to be palette. So that's why I've got it ranked the lowest for the second half of the year. Next up is from BH Cosmetics, the Smitten in Switzerland palette. So this one I used in my holiday drugstore tutorial. I'll leave that linked in the cards if you're interested in seeing it. And the quality wasn't terrible. It's just like not the blueberry muffin palette. You know what I mean? Like when they have such better quality from the same brand, I was just like, it's fine. Like it looked really good in that video and I will find use for it, but the shimmers are just not as like impactful as they are in the pistachio or the blueberry muffin. Those are divine shimmers, and this was just kind of like, okay, drugstore shimmers, which again, not knocking it, like it's a good price, it works, it's fine. And some people don't like the glitzy shimmery, I get that, but for me personally, that's why this one is ranked at 13. Number 12, some of you will be mad at me, but in some of my conversations with some of you, I know you agree with me, is the Lethal Cosmetics and Theresa is Dead palette. Hear me out, okay? A lot of it's a color story, and I haven't reached for this since I did my video on it. I'll leave that linked. If I run out of like the number of cards I can link, I'll just leave links like in the description if you want to see different videos. I did 2 or 3 looks with this palette. Palette's better than the liners. Ooh, I had to struggle with the liners that came in this collection, but I don't know, something about their mattes would just feel like satiny a little bit to me, and I do use my like custom palette that I made with Lethal more than this one, but the color combo, man, I just don't jive super with it. Like, I don't know. But I do love Theresa, so it's not at the bottom, and I still stand by what I said. Like, I'm happy to have it just because I really like Theresa as a creator and I wanted to support her. So no regrets here, but I'm gonna have to figure out a way to incorporate this more to get more use out of it, because like I said, I just have not used it since my video and it's just not vibing with me. So in spots number 11 and 10 are 2 of the Sugar Pill palettes. Now I actually have all 4 of them, but I've only used 2 so far. These I got for a really nice deal because apparently, because they have the stickers like slightly displaced, see how they're not centered on the back, they had to sell them for 50% off because they were like damaged goods, and I was like, heck yeah, man, the shadow's perfectly fine and intact in the inside. I don't care about the stickers, like they're not that far off, it's fine. So I got these, like all 4 of them for 50% off, which was awesome. I haven't used these a ton either. But when I made looks with them, they were just kind of okay. Like, they weren't knock my socks off or anything like that. This one is in number 10. No, this one is number 11, so it's rigged slightly lower. It's just super neutral. I mean, I did a neutral look, like I did like a little orangey look with this shimmer. I do like that these come with a blush. That's really nice. So the orange one is in 11, and then in 10 is this one, and I think it's just because it has some more grungy greens and purples in it, and if you know me, those are like my favorite of all time colors of eyeshadow, so it's just ranked slightly higher for me personally because of color story, nothing to do with quality. And these aren't bad, but they're just like not the thing that I reach for the most when I have an option of anything, you know? But I am happy to have them, and I am happy to support Sugar Pill. This was my first purchase from the brand, and I've gotten some lip products from them since then, and they just look like a really cool brand. Coming in 9th place from Laura Lee Los Angeles is the Candy Skies palette. I did a video with this one as well, and it tanked, honestly. Like, you guys just were not interested in this video. I got this palette mostly because it was limited edition, and I do really like my Nudie Patootie palette that I have from Laura Lee Los Angeles. But to be honest, I haven't touched this one since then either. I haven't, and I think it's because for this one, it was the tail end of summer, and the color story just kind of went out of season for me. We just caught a whiff of it. It's scented. It smells like Smarties. I really like that about this palette. I feel like everything in cosmetics is so like sweet cupcake vanilla-y that it's nice to smell something that is, it's still sweet, but it's like something different. You know what I mean? It's not like the stereotypical scent, but the formula was nice. It was plenty pigmented for me. That's why it's high enough. I didn't have an issue with it, and I do really like the color story. It's just not any higher than this because I haven't gotten a ton of use out of it, just because it's like a seasonal palette in my mind. I'm not gonna wear those kinds of pastels in January as much for me personally. Number 8 is the Game Beauty Victory palette. I demoed this a little bit when I was getting ready in my part-time YouTuber tag, and I used a shade of this in my Kaleidos competition look that Wesley did my voiceover on. I'll leave those linked as well. Here's the color story. I really love Game Beauty, you guys. Like, just appreciate the artwork here. Like, really gorgeous. Perfect for someone who loves video games in your life as well as makeup. They listened to customer feedback. They got rid of the pressed glitter. I have not used this enough, really. When I've used it, I used, I think, Pug, and what else did I use? pink, the brown up here, and gold. And I think that's really all I've used so far. I really can't wait to get into this hard carry and glass cannon combo. That looks really nice, but this has been a nice little palette to pull out too if I just need like a quick little neutral in the crease or just like some brown to deepen up on the edges. This is really nice. It is neutral with a pop of blue, but I think it's a better formula than most like cheaper neutrals with a pop of blue. And like this is like a cool reddish orange coppery effect over here too, this Glory. Such a cool little indie brand that's come out with 4 palettes so far. I really wanted the t-shirts from this brand too, but they were $35 and I just couldn't. I'm like, that's like only slightly cheaper than the palettes themselves. I mean, come on now. But this one was great and I cannot wait to see what else they come out with. Cannot wait to get the Fantasy palette. Haven't tried the Harbinger, however you say it, palette I bought from them. That's in my pile of stuff I still need to use, but this one is phenomenal. Pretty much from here on out, all the ones I'm talking about are great palettes, and I had to really think about the ranking of them, honestly. So number 7 is the Pistachio palette by BH Cosmetics. At the time I'm filming this, I searched for like 20 minutes for this palette and I can't find it. I used it a ton the week of Christmas, a ton. So it drives me up the walls that I cannot find it because I know I've used it recently too. So I will just insert an image of what the palette looks like. I'm not sure if you can get this one anymore. It was from their Sweet Shop collection, but the shimmers are the amazing, sparkly, good VH quality I was talking about. For some reason, they're kind of hit or miss, that brand, it seems like, on quality. They need to just stick with that one formula because it's amazing. And the only reason that wasn't any higher is because, albeit it's wonderful quality, it is monochromatic and you are like somewhat limited, but I will say I have done very like light minty looks and I have also done more darker, deeper pine Christmassy looks, so has a little versatility but is somewhat limited being that it's all greens. Number 6 is the Anti-Valentine's Day palette from Killer Queens Cosmetics, which they just changed their name to Killer Queens. I don't remember what it is because they're selling like crystals and gems and stuff like that now and not just cosmetics. This, I believe, is the most expensive palette in my collection, and I gotta say, it's not worth that much. If you can get a sale, like right now, I think they're doing like 45% off. Great, amazing, fabulous, do it. But I was able to dupe a lot of these in other indie brands that are cheaper. I'll leave that link below as well. And yeah, if I can dupe it, I will. I mean, I love to support a little indie brand, but the other brands I duped it with are also indie brands, so obviously it can be done. And the packaging, I think, is just as nice in those other brands. The other thing with these is I have noticed sometimes if I wear them for a long time, they do crease a little bit, some of these shimmer shades. And this is a companion palette. You can't really use it by itself. So it is not bad. I will use it. I am glad to have it, albeit it was expensive. But I just couldn't put it any higher than 6th place with some of those different things about the palette with the costs and the creasing. Okay, are you ready for the top 5? Pause the video if you need to. Put down in the comments, what's your guess? What do you think my number 1 palette of the year is gonna be if you're somebody that watches my videos, or even if you don't watch them religiously, like, what do you think is something that's been really popular and is like in the indie category? I'll give you that as a hint. It's an indie company, my number 1 palette. What do you think it is? Let me know. The number 5 palette is the Blueberry Muffin palette from BH. BH really hit it off with me the second half of the year. This again is the amazing shimmer formula. So good. I don't even like blue eyeshadow that much, you guys, but I love this one. They get the blues in a way that they come off as like periwinkle or like blue gray or like just an undertone just right so that it's not like blue. The only one that's like straight up blue to me is like this Delish, but I've used this with, what did I use with it? I think Hot and Fresh, and I did like a Y2K inspired Spirit Week look with this palette, and that was super fun too. So it's just really versatile. I think I've used every single shade in this at this point. I mean, I really have used this one a lot. I don't even think I filmed with this one, but like off camera, I use it a lot. I'm starting to see some divots in some of the shimmers, which tells me something. So I really do like this one. there's just other stuff that I like slightly more on my list. That's why it's only number 5, but it is truly a magical palette. If you can find it on sale, I would highly recommend it. This is, I would say, out of all the BH Cosmetics palettes, this is my number 1 BH palette. In 4th place is a fairly new brand to me. This is the brand Sugar Drizzle. This is my 2nd palette I've gotten from them. The first is the Pickle palette, which I haven't even used because I had to put pause on that because I got this one Black Friday. This is the Pizza Kitty palette. Oh my goodness. First of all, hi, have we met? Pizza and cats, match made in heaven. And this is all shimmery, sparkly goodness. Space Meow right now is my winner. They're so shifty and pretty. I'm sure it's not gonna show up and do it justice on camera, but this is so gorgeous, you guys. I love these colors. I had to swatch them because this is one of those unique palettes where like what it looks like in the pan, and then when you put it on the eye or swatch it, you're like, oh, like you can't see the flip in the pan, and so it's like a surprise. So I had to swatch and be like, wait, which one does this flip? What do I actually want from this? That might be frustrating to some of you because you're like, no, I want to know what it is, but I think that's kind of cool, the like flipping like, ooh, wait, what is it? It's a surprise type thing. And these names, guys, Pizza Kitty, Taco Cat, Space Burger, Moon Man, Space Blaster, Pew Pew, Rocket Fuel, Space Meow, Intergalactic Purr, Space Fries, Purple Space, and Space Dog. It's a moment. It's a moment. It's kind of like one of those things where I'm like, it's slightly tacky, but also I love it. I just do. It's not ranked higher because it is a companion palette with it being all shimmers. And I haven't used this as much as some of the other palettes, so I didn't want to rank any higher, but this is a big winner in my book. And it's not like ridiculously expensive. I want to mention that too before we move on. All right, number 3. So this palette was the first time I had ever tried this brand, and I just really like the creator. That's why I tried it. And this is the Glamlight X Michaela palette. Oh, I didn't know about Michaela at first, you guys, on TikTok. Maybe that's like, you know, taboo me saying that, but there's a lot of creators I watch now that at first I was like, I don't know if I like them or not. And I had to try like 2 or 3 or 4 videos before I like understood their sense of humor and then was like, oh, okay, yes, I like this. Because like sometimes the one-off comments, if that's the only video you see, you don't like laugh or get it. I feel like that happens with me too. Like when I look at my analytics, there's a lot of people that watch like a video, and it takes sometimes a few videos, I feel like, for you to get a sense of someone's personality and their style and their humor, and for you to really like get into it and get the inside jokes and the running stuff on the channel. I don't know if you guys feel like that or not, but that's how I was with Michaela, and now I love watching her videos, love watching her grow. She's got millions of subscribers on TikToks, and yes, she keeps growing. But this is the palette. I think this is the biggest palette that I tried in the second half of 2021. These shimmers are really nice. I did like a gold and blue look with this to go to the movies. I went to the movies for the first time in like 2 years, you guys. This is Resident Evil with Wesley, and did like a blue and gold look, and he was like, oh my gosh, you look like Michigan colors. I'm from Ohio, and you know, rivalries and whatnot. And I'm like, sports, I just like blue and gold. So here's the palette, long story short. I really, really like all of the colors from, I'd say, the 3rd row down. The first 2 I can do without. They're pretty much neutrals, but I have used those too, like I said, like the golds I've used to mix with the colors so that it's not just like monochromatic, like bam in your face blue. I have found I like blue more and more if I mix it with like a brown or gold or something else and just like taper it into the blue instead of a full-blown monochromatic blue look. But this is wonderful quality. This was so good that I placed a second order, which you saw on my Black Friday video if you watched that. That's how good it was. Yeah, and this was hard. Like I said, why is it this number? I just like the color story slightly more of the stuff above this, but it's number 3, man. It's really good. All right, we're getting down to it. What do you think? Do you guys know what my top 2 are? Let's see. Okay, number 2 from Shroud Cosmetics, the It's Freakin Bats palette. Oh, I love this one so much, and I love Betty Jean so much. She's definitely one of my top watch channels, and this is one of my favorite color stories. This Grungy Dream, and it's Halloween themed. Love this so much. I have a video on this one as well that I'll link, but it's just spooky and wonderful. It's got Zero as one of the shade names. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. You guys have probably seen, if you follow me on Instagram, my Jack in the background of my filming room, not my filming room, my editing room slash office. And it's got things like Sam, which I don't know what Sam that's from, but to me I think like Sam and Dean, like Supernatural, Grimm, like the Brothers Grimm, like just so many pop culture spooky references that I love so much, as well as the color story. And the shimmers are wonderful. They're divine. I'm, like I said before, very into the sparkly shimmery colors right now and metallics, and this delivers on that. All right, and finally, number one, the top eyeshadow palette that I tried in the second half of 2021 is the Glam Matrix Cosmetics You Beauty palette. So good, you guys. This one, when I first saw it, I was like, what would I even do with that color story? Very similarly to how I felt, honestly, about the Kaleidos Club Nebula palette, which is what I ranked number one the first half of the year. And the more I saw it and the more tutorials I saw people do, I was like, oh, that looks nice. Oh, that's unique, especially, oh, these I know the camera's not gonna pick up, but G'day and Flaming Gala, the multi-chromes, are stunning. They're stunning. This is so good that I've picked up some more singles from Glam Matrix after this, because they're so good, and the mattes are so pigmented. They blend easily. I really like the shimmers the most, but I also really like the mattes. Like, this is such a nice, unique, cool tone, undertone. I love navy liner. Like using shadow as liner, or like a dark green like I'm wearing today. This, I don't have anything like this color. It's like, how do I describe that? It's like a dark mint. If you could have a dark mint, if that makes sense. It's just so unique, and every look that I come out with this, much like the Club Nebula, is great. Like, every combination I've tried has looked superb, and I would highly recommend this palette. You actually can't get it right now, but I follow them on Instagram, and she's basically said she's working on putting out the mini Sandra Rose, I believe, right now, which I did pre-order because I didn't ever get the original. And then she said at some point she might bring this back and do another round. So if they do, I will definitely keep you posted, because this is top quality. So yeah, that's all the palettes that I tried in the second half of 2021. What did you guys think of my ranking? Did you agree? Is there anything you would have put anywhere else? Let me know in the comments, as well as I'd be interested to know what were your favorites, either of all of 2021 or of the second half, just ones you remember, whatever you want to do in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this far, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye!